going to be panning out, but Complexity starting the right play. Smoke deep in front of the cover off the pitch. Shiro decides to use that smoke to reposition and catch the apartment drop. A couple of picks coming through here for Cloud9. Finally, Junior getting something as he dives deeper into the pit, though. Axel hunts him down and couldn't quite follow up for the next. So JT and Fang left to try and pull this one up for Complexity.
At least they're on the site. They can go for the bomb plant, but Cloud9 already have all players in position surrounding the site. They're going to look to time those peaks together from different angles.
Encroaching closer. Enters climbing over the hay bales, looks down below. JT pulled away first. Now Fang having to fight on two sides. And he always doing well. Fang's right down to the 1v1 and the knife is out. The time is ticking. And Nafany will slash away to take down Fang. Straight to the defuse as well. Looking to pull this one through for Cloud9's pistol. Definitely bringing it close, but it will be the pistol for Cloud9.
Normally a little more on the passive side. He's tried to fall back. It's Axel who turns it round, and there's a good trade from Shiro.
There's a big quick round from Complexity straight up middle, sending it fully up into this position. They've actually come out even odds. A couple of kills back and forth, but this fight means everything. And Hobbit going down creates an opening through CT spawn. You can now put pressure onto the B side from CT side, and that will pull Inters back from Banana to try and fend off these two players attacking through CT. Will they be able to do it, though? MP9 and Hattie. Here's the steps. He knows they've gone into the ruins, and so Inters begins to reposition. Grim's coming out through Banana. Oh, Inters just doesn't really have the rifle for it, and the timing works against him. Shiro, AWP lands. Second shot is enough to bring down Grim, but you do not want to throw away this AWP. Even a kill in that position, but we're starting to see those 20 bullets really start to come through.
Seeing this grouped up play style from Complexity. They were running this earlier too. Nafany's going to dodge that flash, but a second one forces him back. He could be in trouble. Nice shot, JT.
Yeah, Nafany stays committed in front of the smoke, and that puts him in an uncomfortable position. They continue to follow up on it and catch Axel out as well. So they knew Shiro was in the apartment, so he can't have got far, and they find him in towards pit. Grim brings him down, and so 3 versus 2, an advantage siding with the Complexity side. With the bomb going down on the A side, such a difficult side to retake. There is still utility available here for Hobbit. On the smoke to catch out JT, and he's not too far off denying that bomb plan. He'll go again. Unfortunately for Shiro, not landing the shots through the coffins. 3 versus 3, Complexity into the site, digging deep into this post plan.
Nades being exchanged. This molly will go into dark, and there is a player there right now.
Oh, you heard that. So immediately the Junior decides to reposition quickly and look for the fight. He lands the shot, but not enough damage to bring down Shiro, who has bested him in the duel. Shiro with the follow-up, and it's all down to Fang. Held behind the smokes in Banana right now. The smoke's up, preventing his vision, preventing his lineups until that point. Fang will double up, and the time, there's not enough of it. Cloud9 will have to stomach the loss, even after the kills from Shiro.
Again, decent utility from them. Cloud9 looking to take the fight this time. Oh, it's a team kill and a kill from Inters. Disaster for Complexity.
Not the start they would have been hoping for. Initially, they had, the last round, they had the perfect start. This time, they have the most disastrous start possible. You have to try and figure out how to weasel your way into the 3 versus 5. Pretty much the entire round ahead of you. Flash goes through. Maybe a risk play like this is all that's needed, but you end up looking a little bit silly when that happens. Shiro's just going to clean it up. And they come, putting pressure up through mid. Shiro is going to throw some utility in to try and soften him up, but Grim has actually got very deep. He could be in an angle that Shiro's just not ready for, but Shiro will handle both JT and Grim and takes 2 kills for Cloud9. And he gets a little greedy, goes back in for a third, and Junior will punish for it. Nafany in the site has that crossfire from up on top of the balcony with Axel.
Oh, Nafany, good kill. Famas also strikes, and Fang. But probably better just keep your gun out, because JT's coming in.
I think how close they are, it's better to keep the rifle in play, and that's exactly what Axel has decided, but somehow Grim is able to double up. Takes down Axel, turns and finds Nafany inside of the pit. I thought absolutely Nafany was about to get that kill, give the advantage to Cloud9. Inters will find it eventually. Little peek out, catching Junior. Does put pressure now onto Grim and Floppy, but if there's 2 riflers you want in this position for Complexity, it would be these 2 players.
Another smoke put up to long. That means Cloud9 are going to have to reroute all the way around. That's going to buy a good bit more time.
They're just getting in position. Cloud9, a team that have to make sure all the pieces are perfectly placed before they decide to make their move, but now they need to move. A move is required, and Floppy, the execution straight away onto Hobbit, but spread it out the time. It's taking the majority of MAC-10 still in play. A single AK. Shiro this time a bit more proactive, a bit more involved with his position. He's playing on the side towards short. Here comes the dive down out of balcony. It's Shiro and Axel. The first 2 kills for Cloud9, and for complexity, it's starting to just fall at the wayside. Just Junior left alone. We'll tap on a default. Rattle a few bullets away, but it is just a matter of time before he gets wrapped around short. Even before that can happen, Nafanit decides.
Taking so long, that smoke's gone. The
down.
bomb could be in trouble.
Yeah, easily taken out. Floppy on the double, 17 seconds left. You have to go back and get that bomb and now start planting it. Shiro getting more aggressive, finds the quick shot onto Grim. Bomb will get planted. It's a difficult spot here for Shiro to do much more. He needs his teammates to make the next move. Otherwise, Shiro's going to be in a real tough spot, having to fight multiple different angles. Anthony decides to start to separate them and sever them off from each other. Floppy decides to turn back, knowing that Shiro was towards Ruin. Takes down the AWPer, but gets traded out and puts it all down to Fang again. He's been good in this position before, and yet again, if Fang will take...
Strong position, does his best work, and now we're straight into it. Axel's already got a double.
Yeah, it's very quick. Axel already up. Hobbit looking to defend, but gets taken out by Grim. So Hobbit no longer left for the Cloud9 side, and no B defense left for Cloud9. Complexity are barreling their way through. They'll lock in their plant. And Grim is already deep in the ruins. He's looking for the CT kill. Unfortunately, his teammate's just been picked out. JT tried to reposition to a safer spot and ends up getting caught and leaves Grim in really difficult waters. Gonna have to try and navigate his way through them. That's a good molly because that buys time for him to reposition and get himself out towards coffins. They have to be aware of this reposition. They'll flash go forward, separates the fight again, but Shiro is just towards B and has now got here just in time. It's Junior with his rifle. Cloud9 beginning to encroach upon this B site, and Junior, in fact, is actually going to go all the way into the site. So this is quite a strong setup for complexity. Here they come. JT up on top of first orange. MP9 rattles away on Hobbit and a quick drop back. Not going well at all here for Cloud9. They're just getting absolutely destroyed with the rifles at the start of the site. Nafni will try his best to put some pressure forward. Does get one. Molly will force Junior into a hot spot, and Junior still comes.
And complexity are just going to try and stick together. Oh, they're taking a lot of time to clear out ruins, though. That could be costly.
Yeah, it really is costly because they don't have utility to smoke off Banana. They don't have any utility to force out these fights, and Shiro holds down Mouse 1, expecting the spacing to be a little quicker and tighter there from complexity, and that isn't going to be the case, but there isn't going to be time either, unfortunately. And that is, just about. Every now and then just checking out towards the balcony, but here they come, unleashing from the balcony. Grim, with one on towards Hobbit, has done well to hold it. Eventually will be forced out of his position, but the rest of his teammates are standing tall, and Cloud9 are toppling. Luckily, Shiro begins to rebuild. 2 found, 20 seconds left. Bowman is back as he searches through the apartments. There isn't a lot of time here for Shiro. He has to consider moving towards the side eventually. Spots out Library, but Junior actually pulls a shot away. Junior needs to be careful because Hobbit's pushed up so far. So close. AWP down, Fine looking to recover it. Elsewhere, his teammates have gone down and the site is being conceded towards A. Cloud9 have found their way into a position to win this round, Hawker. It did not look like that, but suddenly they found an opening.
Intez is going to try and wrap round, but there's a player coming up to the apartments. He'll hear that, though. He'll know that Floppy's coming. How does Floppy clear this? The answer is he doesn't. It's a free AK.
Now Floppy down and out. 3 versus 2 advantage with the Cloud9 side. Smoke will trickle down onto the hay bales. Shiro peeks up from Graveyard under a lot of rifle pressure, but his teammates fending off the rest of the Axel's going to come out on top of this. Just with the sheer number of players on the other side of this corner. He's going to go around and instantly get shredded. As you would expect, you see the amount of players around that corner, you're just not really going to feel that. But that's information to Cloud9 that there's so many players stacked towards B early, which means there has to be a weakness towards A. And so they start to accelerate towards this side of the map.
He's got up long, so he'll try and cut off that rotate, but Junior's still in position. T-side smoke down, but that's actually allowing Complexity to get onto the site and reinforce it. JT in position. Shiro's holding to see what he can do, but it's utility on the T side. You can sit back a little more comfortably. Smoke goes up to long, 35 seconds. Cloud9 will start to move up, but they can't really wrap A with that. They might just have to take CT and try and split this B site.
Well, Axel's gonna catch a couple of players looking the wrong way. Axel doubles up. Floppy and JT knocked out. And it's now Grim and Junior left at the 18-second mark to try and pull their way back into this, but Shiro makes sure that that's not going to be happening. Bomb starts to go down. The site eventually. Floppy's moved down through Bananas. That fallback plan for Cloud9 doesn't really look like they want to use it right now anyway, but it is going to be a little more difficult to go running back up through Banana. They are so wrapped around this A site. They have to go eventually. There's only a couple of seconds left to make this happen. 20 left on the clock right now. This could get messy. But finally the move that they waited for has come through. Junior's given up his life. Grim and Findo holding strong, and this is fantastic for Complexity. Cloud9's Caliber now puts pressure, more pressure on the hands of Find to try and step up, and he can't get a kill. It's starting to crumble here for Complexity. Visions of Inferno victories have just gone up in fire. It is now JT and Floppy to try and pull off the 2v3, and it has to be a retake versus the Cloud9 threesome.
Some utility, but there's still utility for Cloud9 too. They still have a molly. They still have this smoke in top mid. Finally, it fades. Complexity trying to see if they can come in through the apartments, but the time is ticking. They've got to get a move on.
Molotov to force Nafny to reposition, but all it does is sends him into a position where he's still in the power position. Oh, swings out, Inters takes his head off. Floppy absolutely should have found another kill. With that kill for Cloud9, they've now got to deal with a flank from behind. 3 players running up behind him.
Oh no.
They've heard it.
Oh, he's turned around.
Shiro turns around indeed. He hears the steps, and now it's slow for Complexity. They're starting to jump into him, and Shiro! 1 bullet, 2 kills. Bomb, it rolls around the corner. It rolls into the hands of Inters, and this could not have gone any worse for Complexity. Inters comes back, and he's found it.
One CT here.
Yeah,
it's
it's
all on
Floppy.
Floppy.
Play with his hands in his... Oh, right on his face, and the overtime break once again gets shredded through, and this B site has fallen. A disaster here for Complexity. Started the day looking like a chance to take map 1 versus Cloud9, but are now looking down the barrel of a flawless first half against them here in overtime. Shiro's come through fine. Well, at least get one back on Inters, but they're not really making significant ground here. They're not making ground at all on the Complexity side. And the jump around from Junior once again falls foul quick. Closer towards Arch and CT. Another full commitment has been had for Complexity into the site. Hobbit doing great work. It's 1 single kill though, and that's not going to be enough to keep them competitive. So here comes the rotation. And this is where Cloud9 have to be able to pull off a retake into 4 versus 3. So this is looking good for Complexity.
Another smoke into CT. That's going to slow things, but Cloud9 have nades of their own. That's what they've got to rely on here. Smoke for Banana would be ideal, and then mollies to the site could be really good. Well, that molly won't reach, though.
It won't. Nafny's still going to have to check it, and that pulls him wide into the fight versus Junior, and the kill. And he has got the rifle from the site to help him, so it doesn't really matter. You know, Axel can stand here. Shiro will be under pressure, but enough of a distraction has been set up from the site. But now the rifles are gone, he's under a lot more pressure. He really wants that short play, and he's using the smoke like an absolute master. Finally, he is found by Fine. 20 seconds. Inters and Hobbit, 2 versus 2. It's not a retake scenario because the bomb hasn't gone down. And oh, Inters, he has come through short, snaps away at the head of Grim with a distraction of his teammate set up, and puts Fine into the clutch. He has to win it out, and Fine has been incredible. He catches Inters unaware and unready for the fight. Fine goes for the swing, but he cannot hold it. He cannot close it, and Cloud9 will pull all the way through. Come on, give him a fist bump. Axel will connect it, and Cloud9 smokes for the cross, and Grim the swing on out. Shiro down straight away. The flash is so good, but Junior unable to get the clean double. Luckily, his teammates come through with him, and Cloud9 have just been cut down to 1 player. Inters is considering the fact the flank has likely happened, but ooh, handles it well. Floppy down. Problem is the bomb is over with a pack of complexity players here for Inter. So yeah, he has a minute left to play with, but there's so much he has to do here.
I like the decision to try and wrap around. You can see complexity have
It's been watched.
heavily stacked on long. It is being watched, but it could be a one-on-one fight. Oh. I think he's
it's all
been
about
spotted
timing. Yeah, spotted by JT. Inter has locked that fight in, and well, that's gonna really hurt the remaining portions of his chances. They all line up.
Grim playing it super safe. Junior could be in some trouble. That's a nice shot, though. That's what he needed. Now Grim will start to lock it down. Shots from Shiro. 2 straight back. That should be a bomb plant and maybe a chance at the round.
Shiro can often pull off some unthinkable clutches. You can never count him out when he's in these spots.
I don't think he has time to go B, right?
No, he does not. He would have to come back, and that time that he's gone out so long has actually allowed the 2 remaining complexity players to shift their way forward for the dig. It is snapped away. JT, now the scout pulled out, and the damage landed on the first shot. He goes back again, and Shiro closes the clutch.
That's unreal.
Shiro the Immortal going on. Well, look at him do that again. He's 1 death so far.
Ooh.
JT, good deke headshot onto Hobbit. Floppy gets traded out. Cloud9 getting a lot of ground and running over the top of the 8 defense. Now looking to the flank through short is Inters. Looking to deal with J2. It's got a better rifle in his hands. It's a double. Inters keeps a clean. Shiro elsewhere closes the round out. With their forces up through short, they could sell out a bit of a short fake into the B split because they still have a player in the tunnels, or they could commit with a pack out through short to the A side, which is what they're intending to do. They drop the player down into a CT, and that's Nafany trying to get the up, but Junior's able to read it. Nafany's taken out. At least Shiro is still fighting forward for Cloud9, and Hobbit runs out of ammo, couldn't quite double up on towards Grim, and well, eventually will with the reload and the extra pressure put on forward. It is now just fine on the other side.
I like the complexity is staying active. Now they go back to long. They try and set this up, but Junior's blind. He's forced back.
Yeah, now his flash will set up Floppy, who will unleash hell onto Hobbit and Axel. 2 kills in for Floppy. A great job done to put complexity into the 2-player advantage. The jump across with the run boost, not enough. Junior quick enough and accurate enough to bring down a second as well. Shiro into the 1 versus 4. Now, we talk about his clutches, but this would be a little unreasonable. He doesn't have the time. There's the one limiting factor here for him. Peek up. Head showing. Unable to get the pick. Floppy with a great round. No mistake being made. No swing from complexity to give away the pick to Shiro. But this is giving ground to Cloud9. They are getting closer, and now comes the fight closer to JT, and it's opened up. Hobbit's headshot follows Cloud9 through to the 2-player advantage, and things are starting to crumble by the wayside for complexity. They're going to need a big hold out of Fang and Grim inside of the site, and a flash is enough to remove Fang from contention and put all of the pressure on Grim's shoulders, and he will be caught completely unaware of how close Hobbit got up.
Right now, his teammates have the other angles. It's
the
just the head, and somehow that doesn't hit.
Where did that go? I guess he must have moved in the final pixel, but yeah, that looked like it was dead on. Now Hobbit's turn to try and fend off the short offensive. It's done well to drop Junior, and yeah, the utility, that's what you love to see for Cloud9. It buys them some extra time here. They've doubled up into a CT spawn. They've doubled up here to try and fight. Shiro misses the shot. Hobbit won't though. And now going for the jump, the AK trying to get the jump shots. Floppy just sticks it. Floppy defuses. And he knows as soon as it's inside of CT spawn.
Yeah, it always looks awkward when it goes against Cloud9 and they run those sorts of plays. There's a pick from Nafany though. They realize they can start to bring it back to B. And the B site is completely clear. Axel's still hanging around mid with the bomb though. But surely he'll realize Nafany actually has the B site entirely in his control. Axel will come back through the tunnels. Just a question of whether he can cross safely. Yep, that'll be a bomb plant.
Lance is through, potentially even the round now, but it is Axel who has to deliver everything. First kill is his. A lot more needed. Alex Sol goes out for the second swing, but unfortunately Grim is there to quickly close it up. First move. Not wait for those rotations, but rather be proactive in his play. And with that smoke out to the left side, it actually protects him from the B ramp players. 30 seconds left though, and Floppy does catch Roobet trying to get up towards short A. So that's information gathered here. And now they can start to really try and bolster this defense towards the A side for the dying embers of this round. JT plays from Goose, the full commitment forward from Shiro, and he is caught with his pants down looking the wrong way. Axel taps and goes down. That round was...
Continue to get involved. Grim thinking of going aggressive, but they're already getting up to B.
Well, he finally got through the smoke. I thought that was going to come a little earlier, but goes through Shiro and Roobet though, just fending everybody off, and distractions for Floppy as he has to worry about the window, the doorway, and the tunnel. He gets caught from the backside of the tunnels itself, and that B site once again falls. It's in the hands of Cloud9. Shiro fends off the CT play, so Complexity even want to attempt this. They've got to get close to the AWP of Shiro, and he's damn quick with those close shots. JT out of there, and just Junior, who doesn't really want to throw this AWP away. Let's get Roobet. Missed shot from Shiro, second missed shot as well. He's missing a few of these here, Shiro. And finally, to deal with this attack forward, readies himself with the smoke. Get a wider angle. So I play towards the barrels, in fact. So he might actually use the distraction of his teammates to get himself a very difficult angle to deal with. But Floppy got underneath him. And Shiro couldn't even pick a target. He didn't commit long enough to take a kill away, but luckily Roobet is there to sweep up the rest. And Axile out towards Long is doing good work. Complexity got somewhat close to the site, but are now starting to crumble. It's just Floppy left. The short play coming up through, and Floppy. Cloud9 have the range advantage as well with the setup towards Long. Even if Complexity get to the site, they don't really have the utility to fend them off. So Cloud9 would be able to just fight them at range. It goes up. A bomb plant being taken away from this. Not bad here for Complexity. We'll give them a lot more cash to play with in that next round. And they've done well to not sustain the loss of a player. Finally, that will change, but it's traded out immediately by the upgraded rifle in the hands of Grim. He really starts to think about the round win for Complexity. It's a real possibility because Grim is doing so much work. Floppy in the flank finally accounted for, and Inters will turn to take him out. But Cloud9 starting to drop away from this one. They will concede this, and Complexity pick up a sixth.
Well, there we go. That opener from JT made a huge difference in this. That was a fast cap boost for Shiro. He was looking to just shut them down.
Takes Salt. And he can quickly cross behind the cover. And that's just set him up ready to take down a couple more players coming his way. But doesn't want to stay in a risky position. Knowing that he has Axel to his long, he's decided to call his teammate back. And both of those Cloud9 players have gone down in one blink of an eye. And Floppy, unfortunately, has lost JT. His support network no longer there. And Floppy in the clutch alone. 1 versus 2. He locks in the bomb plant, looks up to short, but gets caught around the other side. Inters from behind, puts him in the ground. And the defuse will be secure. Looks like this is certainly on the cards, but the utility is fantastic here from Cloud9 to slow this down early, but they're not going to care about that here. Complexity, they're going to commit in towards it. They're going to put pressure onto the defense. Nafny has done very well through the gap in the doorway to take a double, and they haven't even had to use Shiro yet. Because of those 2 kills from Nafny, they were fixated upon the doorway and the window and completely forget about car position. And so a double from Nafny is enough to give Shiro 1. They fight their way through Complexity to get the ball down, but holding on to the site is more difficult than actually getting on towards.
Up short, completely safe on this position. Long control is being battled. This crossfire could be brutal. Axile already with 2. They're going to turn attention elsewhere. That's a risky fight. Shiro missing again. Oh, finally hits the shot he was looking for. Oh, they hear this. They've got everyone rotating in.
Inters is so ready, but still, being ready doesn't always mean you'll find success. Very good to end this one. Shiro is up towards short. Nafny holding off the mid-offensive. No problem for him. Snaps away 2 lives. JT and Junior both taken out straight away. Nice shot from Shiro, continuing his good performance today. What an absolute masterclass we've got to witness today from him. 22 kills here on this map, 40 on the previous. About to see a 2-0 with like 60 kills on the board. Just wild stuff out of Shiro. Hobbit leading the charge here on Dust 2. Just a matter of time before we see Fang and Floppy hit the deck, and Cloud9 lock themselves in a victory on the opening day of the Roobet Cup.
Oh, Floppy went back for the bomb, which might have just saved his life briefly, but the nade almost touches down. 2 nades, in fact, that Floppy dodges away from. Definitely does feel like they are just delaying the inevitable. Oh, I was going to say, don't those players see each other? Finally, Nafany realizes it's an enemy on his screen.
Really are prolonging this one, but we'll see if they can get any closer to taking Nafany out.
Got to play for stats sometimes, man. Got to do it.
Now, Floppy has slipped his way out the mid doors, but is scared to go around the corner because you could be shot from CT and the B ramp at the same time. So they decide to go to short, but you would be silly to think it's safer to go towards Shiro. And he will take 1 life, looking for another. Shiro will close the day.